Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And after a way too long winter break, the CDL is finally back in action tonight, and some good beef as well to kick off the weekend, with Pred and GodRx teaming up in a series of 8s last night. Pred not so happy at all about GodRx's playstyle in a couple of specific moments. Gets his revenge later on in the series as well. Plenty to dive into today. Very much interested your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Poor Ben as well here. Shotzzy just can't help trolling Cammy, and poor Ben gets assassinated. Nothing that Ben could do about it. His POV as well. He realised that he was done for, and well, Shotzzy simply cannot help himself. Speaking of great content, Scrappy has also started up a YouTube channel. I think it's great to see when players, especially players with great personalities, get this going, because it doesn't seem too hard to me if you're regular streamers. Lots of these guys are to clip it up or get someone to put something together on the YouTube channel. Sure, stream highlights videos don't maybe hit in 2024 as they did 5 or 6 years ago, but look, it's still some content you can do, and also you can take it next level, like what Kenny's done, match recaps. Sure, bit of a cheat code when you're an OpTic in terms of getting the viewership, but Kenny, I think, has done a phenomenal job with his YouTube channel over the last few weeks. So the more the better, and look, I'm certainly not complaining about more Scrappy content to potentially have a look at. There's also this going down today on the patch notes. Now, we are expecting in a few days' time a major patch update arriving to the game, which is going to apparently, according to Parasite, overhaul the spawns, maybe even change the spawn, like the hardpoint rotations on certain maps, and potentially a big update, new maps, all this stuff. Now, that's meant to arrive before the major. The question has been, will we play on that patch update? Will the pros play on that patch update, come to the Boston major itself? Because if they do, that's going to be potentially a brand new game they've got to learn within just a matter of a few days. So we're expecting big changes to come, but as of today, there's another change they're adding in on P3 hardpoint spawns. So what they say on Invasion is adjusted spawns to prevent unnecessary spawn flips while the bus station capture point, which is P3, is active in hardpoint. So what do you guys think about this? Like, it's just one change, and people would say, oh, come on, gotta change the P5 spawns as well, or some of the other spawns on Invasion are definitely dodgy. But look, P3 has been an issue with spawns. They believe that they're trying to resolve that, but this is definitely not the major patch updates we're expecting to see in a few days' time, which are going to be interesting when they arrive, especially depending on whether they get put straight into the CDL or not. They probably won't, but I guess it depends on what the pros in the CDL have to say on that one. This also, though, big update over the last couple of days on the Carolina Royal Ravens. We know these guys have been having issues, and I roasted them the other day for very good reason, on their difficult history, shall we say, when getting visas for their players. Now, Real has been in a similar boat, unfortunately. Of course, Spanish player. You guys probably remember he was in Toronto, their facility, I believe, playing the games that they played last year. But of course, this year, he can't probably pull that trick off again. So he's now going to have to get his visa to get into the US, and you'd think it wouldn't be too difficult. Clay says he's in the last steps of his visa process, could be approved by the weekends. But, well, for now, it doesn't seem like that has happened yet. Of course, today's Friday, so they're running out of time. So for this weekend's games, and potentially for next weekend's games at the major, depending on how long things kind of go on, Ravens need to find a substitute, basically a plan B to step into their team. That's what Clay said the other day, and as of yesterday, we have some confirmation really as to who that's going to be. If you go on the Call of Duty League website, you will find that TJHaLy is listed under the Carolina Royal Ravens. So here you go, you guys can see it just at the bottom there. You've got Gwyn, Real, TJ, GodRx. We'll discuss him in a second with regard to the Pred situation, then in Clay. But yeah, TJ is back in. We know, of course, he was on the Vegas team with Clay last year. Definitely, if you're going to dip down to challenges and pick up a player, TJ's a known quantity, know what you're going to get with Tej, and him coming in to replace Real. To be honest, this is a change that you might have considered anyway, possibly, if the team continued to struggle. Now, they have said, Carolina, there's no intention to change their roster, but this is potentially a forced move for this weekend's. I think they play one game this weekend. We'll see it in a few minutes time here at the end of the video when we discuss the matches for today and the rest of the weekends. But yeah, every game for Ravens is big. They've not won a map in every series they've played apart from the one that they won. So they're 0-9 in series they've lost, which doesn't really matter that much if you win a lot of series, but they don't. So they only beat Vegas very marginally. So this was also kind of leaked and confirmed, it seems, by Temp as well. So apparently Temp said TJX Clay is happening, and that's quite possibly why Temp's team hasn't been practicing for the last couple of days, which is kind of difficult for them. But if T just to practice with the Ravens guys, then I guess it makes sense that that Temp's team can't practice. TJ got picked up. That's how it seems. Now, I guess the question is for Ravens, let's say TJ comes in and does very well. Like, do you bring Real back in when his visa's sorted? Certainly that's Ravens' intention. But if I'm Real, I'm thinking, okay, come on, gotta hope TJ gets Friday, because if he doesn't, then my spot might be out. They can say as much as they want, oh, this only a plan B, only a temporary idea. But if it works well for TJ, it's not like Real's been spectacular, and it's not like their team has been delivering good results, let's be honest. There was also this discussion here on the Reddit that apparently Zuma said all of the FaZe Black guys declines this opportunity, because if you're going to ask players in challenges, especially like North American challenges, to potentially sub in from an SMG perspective, you're going to really look at the FaZe Black team first, Asim, Exceed, those guys that have been winning some of the challenger tournaments that have been going on so far. So I guess that's the question for you guys. If you're the FaZe Black team, what do you think about this? Because I kind of get both sides of this discussion here. If you come up and you play bad for the Ravens, which you might be expected to, subbing in for a team that isn't that good, you're probably going to get cooked a little bit, especially if you're having to sub in for a role and, you know, you're not going to come in as a slayer, are you? You're going to come in to kind of fill the gaps and try and help the team. If you get fried a little bit, is that your chance in the CDL done? Like, let's say you're Exceed or whatever, you come back in. Are you going to get another shot for the rest of the year? Maybe not. So maybe it's better to say, all right, I'm just going to bide my time in challenges. But then again, if someone offers you to actually start in the CDL, even for just a couple of games, it might be worth it, because as Dangle says, true, but if you play good, you've got a small sample size and boom, you're the next pick up to the league, which is also true. So it kind of works both ways. I'm not sure, you know, Kremp and Brack, of course, the remaining guys of the team, apparently all these guys, I mean, Brack isn't an SMG anyway, so I don't know if that would really work, but the other guys can all run the sub. So it's plausible that all of them told Clay no, and maybe, I don't know if Asim and Clay still have beef. I know there was a bit of friction there when they were teaming on the Subliners back in the day, so I don't know if there's anything to that. But yeah, apparently these guys kind of turned down the opportunity to sub in for Ravens. I don't blame them for doing so. I totally understand why you wouldn't want to sub into that situation, but at the same time, if you back yourself to fry no matter the circumstances, then it could actually work to your favour. It's like Capsidal last year, right? He subbed in for Thieves, and then people thought, okay, actually no, Cap is legit. So, and now he's of course a starter back in the league again on the Boston Breach. Just before we get into the kind of Pred versus GodRx drama here, just wanted to mention this. OBJ Player of the Year ladder, breaking points are going to keep updated over time. The AR player ladder, the rookie ladder, the SMG ladder, and also the OBJ ladder is kind of interesting. I think Insight deserves some credit for how he's been performing for Toronto so far. Kismet is here, shouldn't be a massive surprise there. Estriel as well, number 5. This kind of considers, well, points captured in control, maybe bombs planted as well to some extent, but also hard point time most definitely. And Dashy's number 1 in that category, and Kenny's here as well. So yeah, Kenny and Dashy both appearing on the OBJ Player of the Year ladder so far, and the AR player ladder so far. So good signs for OpTic if they can maintain this form. But we've got to talk about some of these clips going around for BPL 8s over the last couple of days, especially this one here from Pret. So this one he's just frying and he's just cooking people. The funny thing is about all of these clips that Skyz is almost exclusively the third guy that he cooked at each of these moments, which is, I don't really know why Skyz was always finding himself in a tough spot there, but it's pretty funny. The main clip though was this one with GodRx involved. So here we go. Pred did GodRx so dirty, I guess we'll just put it like this. So we're here on Terminal, we're trying to break into the Bookshop Hill. We know how difficult that is, and Pred's got the MCW in hand, as you do when you're playing this map basically, and well, he's hoping that Mr. GodRx behind him will actually slide across or go in first or take the chal or something like that, whereas he tries to chal, he dies, and then GodRx just, instead of going for the trade, he just kind of sits there, right? And this is GodRx's, Pred can't complain that much in the sense that this is kind of Pred's playstyle as well. Like, let's say he was playing for OpTic there, he would expect Shotzzy or whatever to slide across or go first, and then Pred can be the second guy. Pred though's kind of got to do it first here, so he's expecting GodRx to maybe help him out somewhat more, whereas GodRx doesn't. Now, I'm not exactly sure from GodRx's POV, maybe he was weak from the previous gunfights, maybe he couldn't realistically chal or whatever, but even then, let's say GodRx was weak from the gunfight that he just won. Really, you want to be the one to go in first and then, take the bullets away, admit you're sacrificing your life, and then Pred can get the trade. That's not what GodRx does, but we don't have both POVs. It's tough to really criticize the play too much. But clearly, there was a feeling here from Pred that over the course of the matches they played, he wasn't so happy with what GodRx was doing here, and then he even, when they played the sub-base and are about to lose it, just shoots GodRx in the back and says, "Oh, sorry, mate, I didn't see your name tag there."
Yeah.
Nice. Offie's on the right. F me. Chat, this GodRx guy is baiting the fuck out of me. Oh shit, my bad. The name didn't come up.
These are we. He ran away. He was.
Yeah, I'm holding ticket. Alright, Lee, stay down for ticket.
Start doing throw. Black up.
Oh my fucking god. I'm pitching him, stay alive.
Both weak.
Top it, Alec. Dead. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, good shit, man. Really weak back alley, bro. What do you close it?
I got Paco one shot back alley. Paco one shot. Freebie back there.
Oh my god.
Good shit, man.
I can kill this guy, stay alive.
Two there. The last two that you can get.
I'll be cross, I got one. I got two. Last guy.
Nah, bro, I got a streak.
Aye.
I blow right now. One low. I think P1. Nice.
Nice, good job.
Right now.
Oh my god, guys. Last guy.
So what do you guys think about this one, right? Because GodRx is that type of player as well. He is like the slightly slower player that is probably going to bait the team, and he's the player that you would expect to be the slayer, really, for the Ravens. That's what I expected when GodRx came in, that he would. You know, that is generally his play style, to play a bit slower, you know, to bait his teammates a bit more, and there's nothing wrong with doing that if you're going to get the kills. But if you don't get the kills, then that's when it becomes problematic. So GodRx replies to this, actually, with this one, which I thought was pretty funny, and I guess there's people saying, you know, is this the start of the villain arc for GodRx or whatever? Because clearly, having seen the clip, he knows that he wasn't shot by accident from Brit. It was very much deliberate. But as I say, like, I don't think there's anything massively problematic with GodRx's playstyle if he delivers the kills. But he's not delivering the kills right now. I mean, this is the CDL so far. It's got a 0.82 lowest KD on the team. I think it's the harp one especially, which is pretty bad. I mean, everything is pretty bad, to be honest. The Search and Destroy is ugly. The Control is very ugly as well. But look, they've only played a few series. This weekend they play some more, and we'll see who those are going to be against here in just a couple of seconds. So definitely interested in your perspective on that one. Does Pred have a point on this? And actually, this is kind of interesting that OpTic are already on a 6 hardpoint win streak right now. They could get to 8 this weekend if they win both in the matchup they play, because I think they only play one series this weekend, which is the case, I'm guessing, for 4 of the teams out of the 8, which is what it usually is. Pred, of course, understandably can get away with some of this trash talk because they did completely slam Ravens when they actually played them, and even as Moneyhill Stats as well says that in those 6, they have won on average by 75 points in the hardpoint with a 1.22 average KD. But that is skewed a bit, of course, from that Carolina Royal Ravens series. So, couple of big series coming up this weekend. This is one of the really big ones I think that I'm looking forward to. This is on the Saturday, Surge versus Miami Heretics. Miami, of course, are 3-0 so far. Surge are like 2-2. But these are teams that, you know, I don't really know which team is stronger right now. I feel like, obviously, Heretics, they're number 1 in the standings, but that doesn't fully reflect the strength of the teams they've played. Surge have beaten some decent teams, but they've also lost to FaZe and OpTic, so, you know, this is going to be really interesting to see. This is kind of difficult to call, I think. But these are the rest of the games going on. I guess just quickly, these are the standings. So, these are going into Major 1. These are the overall season standings as well, but of course, this also correlates precisely to who's going to get winners, who's going to get losers. Right now, Rocker, Ravens, Thieves, and Legion are in the losers bracket spots. The other teams are going to be starting in winners as it stands, and I think that, you know, the top 4 should have no problems. Toronto need to win 1 more series. You know, 3 series wins is probably going to be fine as long as you've got a good enough map count. But you know, ideally 4, 5, 6, or even 7 wins would be nice, because then you're going to start as the number 1 seed. These are the games though this weekend. As I say, OpTic, they play once against Legion on the Saturday. Ravens play Rocker, so that's their series this weekend. So, you know, an absolute must win for Ravens. There's no doubt about it, and it will probably be TJ that comes in for that series, at least as it presently stands. These are the games for today. So Surge play today as well before they play in Miami, so this is going to be quite telling, I think. FaZe Gorillas. There's no doubt that FaZe should win this series, but I guess we'll see. Are Gorillas still something of a force? Will they get brushed aside 3-0 by FaZe, which is probably going to be my prediction, to be honest. But how competitive will they be in this series? Because Gorillas have looked pretty decent so far, and depending how they match up against FaZe, I think that says something against Gorillas. Still expecting FaZe to win, but you know, I think this is going to be interesting to see nonetheless. Surge Ultra is definitely the series of the day though, because both of these teams are in an interesting spot. Ultra could have been 3-0 if they'd beaten Boston, but they got slammed by Boston. So they're coming into the new year on a bit of a back foot situation. Envoy had a terrible series against Boston. He's maybe been unwell for the last couple of weeks, been getting cooked in scrims. We don't know how that's going to translate, but again, for both of these teams, this feels not like a must win exactly, but it's definitely a really important one to win. And again, 2 teams, Surge would kind of consider the team going in as to maybe the team on the cusp of the top 4, so this could probably go either way. I'd probably lean Ultra though, but intrigued to your thoughts on that. And then if Rocker show anything like what they showed last year, they will get slammed slammed by the Subliners. But to be honest, I'm just looking forward to the CDL finally being back in business. So very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.